Chloe Peterson says, sources confirmed to me, Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild bone bruise in her left ankle on August the 7th. So Caitlin Clark basically got hurt again. How did she get hurt again? I don't know. It's definitely looking hella spooky right now, because if Caitlin was hurt and supposed to have been not doing certain things, how do the Fever organization allow her to get hurt again?
Indiana Fever Nation has been rocked once again. Another injury, another crushing blow, another cruel reminder that even icons can fall. Caitlin Clark, the phenomenon who turned every court into a stage, now finds herself trapped in the revolving door of injury updates with no clear exit. This time, it's bigger than a missed stretch of games. This time, it's the loss of an entire season. It feels like the slow dismantling of the WNBA's brightest star.
What were the odds that the Indiana Fever would miss the playoffs prior to this season taking place? There's so much fishiness going on in this league, and you just sniff around a little bit, you can tell. What is the payout for somebody who bet, the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, with a new head coach, with all these new additions? What's the payout if they just, surprise, miss the playoffs? Indiana Fever reporters, beat writers, pawns, whatever you want to call them, they are suddenly reporting an August 7th ankle.
The stats make the heartbreak unavoidable. Clark has now sat out 22 games this year. 22. More than some players will miss across their entire careers.
None of this stuff, like, why tell us now? None of this stuff is it's not making sense, man. I mean, this organization, man, it's being run like a mom and pop shop, bro. Like, God, like, what is going on? What is going on, man? I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. It's just flat out, it's absurd. I don't even, nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's liars. We can't get the truth about anything. There's a video of Caitlin Clark trying to jog. She looks awful just trying to trot. I mean, I don't know what's going on. This is terrible. I told y'all, it's a wrap. I don't want to say it's a wrap. I told y'all she's done for the season. It's a wrap.
The Iron Woman who never missed a game in 4 years at Iowa, who powered through her rookie season without sitting once, is suddenly fragile. The list of setbacks reads like a nightmare. Left quad strain, left groin injury, right groin injury, and now a bone bruise in her left ankle, suffered while rehabbing. It's like watching a masterpiece erode before your eyes.
Until yesterday, we knew about the quad injury earlier this summer. We knew about the groin injury that's kept her sidelined damn near the entire season. Now we are being told that Caitlin Clark suffered a bone bruise in her ankle during a workout 2 weeks ago. This poor girl is falling apart in her early 20s. Part of me understands the push to get Caitlin Clark back on the court. The Indiana Felines are barely hanging on to their playoff spot.
If you're reading this, hit subscribe, because what we're witnessing isn't just bad fortune. It feels systemic. It feels deliberate. The WNBA's biggest attraction has been picked apart piece by piece while the league looks away. Clark's 2025 campaign began with soaring expectations. The Fever finally had a championship-level roster around her. Fans circled dates on calendars, scooped up tickets, and dreamed big. But reality barged in and ruined the party.
Because Caitlin Clark is the most covered player the WNBA has ever seen. So if she had an injury or tweak something or hurt something almost 2 weeks ago, you probably think we would have heard about it by now, right? Right. Scott Agnes reports Fever All-Star guard Caitlin Clark tweaked her left ankle during a workout in Phoenix, league sources told Fieldhouse Files. Chloe Peterson confirms this. Sources confirm to me that Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild Bone bruise in her left ankle. A tweak, bone bruise. Forget it.
It started with that quad strain, costing her 5 games. Clark being Clark, she returned with fireworks, dropping 32 points on the defending Liberty. For a moment, hope roared back. But the joy was short-lived. A left groin injury claimed 4 more games. When she came back, she wasn't herself, averaging just 12.5 points on 31% shooting across 4 outings. The fire dimmed. The magic faded.
The Caitlin Clark injury situation is officially a mess because not only is there not more clarity, there's more confusion about what her timeline could be. And that's coming on the heels of it seeming to be pretty clear when Clark would return to the court, or about when she would return to the court. It was said on the ESPN broadcast on August 12th that Stephanie White hoped Clark would be back in practice this week. Open portion of practice, Clark is not seen. And Stephanie White afterwards said it's status quo until Clark is back at practice. Well, what changed? Right? I know there's never been a direct timeline, but all the signs seem to point in the direction of Clark returning.
Then came the backbreaker. A right groin injury on July 15th against Connecticut, sidelining her for 13 straight games and counting. The spiral didn't stop there. On August 7th, during rehab, Clark tweaked her left ankle, diagnosed as a mild bone bruise. The team insisted it wouldn't delay her return. But injuries don't exist in silos. They stack. They compound. They build a house of cards just waiting to collapse.
No idea when Caitlin Clark is coming back or if she is coming back at all. Every time that they get asked, they just say TBD. We have no idea what's going on, which is, in my opinion, quite suspicious. You kind of know what is going to happen with an injury. The doctors can give you an estimate. The player can tell you, you know what, I'm not really feeling that great. I don't expect to be coming back, but she has been practicing with the team. Maybe she's going to come back for the playoffs and help them get that championship, or at least try to get the champion.
And here's the real outrage. This wasn't random. It wasn't fluke. It was inevitable, fueled by a league that let defenders batter Clark like she was a tackling dummy. We've all seen it: cheap shots, face swipes, body checks, while officials swallowed whistles. Marina Mabrey's shove was only upgraded to a flagrant after replay. J.C. Sheldon went for her eyes. Opponent after opponent lined up to test her limits, knowing penalties would be rare or meaningless.
Yeah, it's crazy. They can't see all of these fouls and flagrants that's happening, especially when it comes to our precious CC, Caitlin Clark, at the end of the day, but they have time to pay attention to your podcast and finding you. You know what I'm saying? Because of you calling them out on they miss. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about them jive turkeys like they would say in the 70s. At the end of the day, keep it to yourself. Even if you did know when Caitlin Clark, aka my precious and our precious CC, was coming back, which we know she's not coming back. She's out for the rest of the season. She needs to stay out for the rest of the season because of this organization. And the WNBA is a whole catastrophe.
Lisa Bludder, Clark's college coach, warned this day would come. She called for stricter rules, for fines, for real ejections when boundaries were crossed. The WNBA looked the other way, too busy counting the money Clark was bringing in. They let the physicality escalate. They let the targeting fester. They let their golden goose get bruised into silence. Now, as Coach Stephanie White offers little more than vague statements, until she practices, it's status quo. Fans are left with no clarity, no timeline, and dwindling hope.
I can't stand Stephanie White because she keeps covering up and doing lies, and I find her very deceiving, and she lacks integrity. She don't tell the truth. Remember, she covered for Dewana Bonner, saying she had personal reasons and didn't tell the truth about it. And then she lied about Caitlin Clark's injury, where it was a lot severe than it was, but she said day to day, kept stringing a carrot. And then once again, she lied again and didn't say a word about her being hurt, getting her ankle hurt. What's up with this team being like very deceiving and not telling the truth and not like being transparent with the fans? Like, people love Caitlin Clark. They want to know what's going on. They're worried about her groin injury. Is she getting better? Is she not? You know, we're all thinking, oh, she might be coming back soon.
The Fever have managed to tread water, posting a 10-9 record without Clark. But this wasn't supposed to be a survival year. This roster was built to win it all. Instead, they're clinging to the 6th seed at 19-16, with championship dreams evaporating. Injuries to Sydney Colson, Ari McDonald, and Sophie Cunningham have only deepened the gloom. Fans are angry. They paid for tickets, invested in hope, bought into the vision, only to be handed medical reports that read like obituaries. Some argue Clark should be shut down entirely. Others demand investigations into officiating. A few whisper doubts about the honesty of the update. When a player goes from never missing a game to losing half a season, trust fractures.
She is injured, but she suffered 3 lower leg injuries, and now we're talking about Caitlin Clark suffering a minor leg injury as well in practice, which has affected her shot while she was trying to play through her injuries, affected her shooting for her long distance, her jumping, her elevation. We all know what happens when you aren't right as a guard and you have to get lift and you have to score, you have to push off on your legs and your foot. You do not want to risk Caitlin Clark coming back and her suffering serious injury that may prolong her being out for even longer. That's not what you want to do. We've seen it happen to Kevin Durant. When he came back, he had a calf strain. We've seen it happen to...
The WNBA itself is in a bind. Their brightest light, the player who filled arenas and spiked TV ratings, is sidelined indefinitely. Instead of headlines about highlights, fans get stories about setback. Meanwhile, the league stumbles through PR disasters. Security lapses, unruly crowds, even bizarre incidents like objects tossed on court. But none of it compares to the Clark saga. Nothing screams league failure louder than watching your biggest star crumble while doing nothing to stop it. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert speaks of safety initiatives. But where were they when Clark was getting mauled on primetime?
The storylines in the WNBA dump have been non-existent since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have been injured. Now with Sophie Cunningham out for the season, there are literally no stars in the WNBA. It would not surprise me if the Indiana Felines were being pressured by either the WNBA Players Union or the league itself. Hell, maybe both. It wouldn't surprise me if the Felines were being pressured to get the Roo from Waterloo back on the court. But like I've been telling you guys for weeks, Caitlin Clark is not coming back this season.
Now it's late August. 9 games remain in the regular season. And reality is harsh. Clark may not suit up again this year. Her groin still isn't right. Her ankle, mild or not, was hurt during rehab. Time is running out. Analyst Rachel Da put it plainly, "I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back." Those words hit Fever Nation like a gut punch. The savior meant to deliver Indiana its long-awaited championship is fighting just to touch the court again.
Last thing that I'll say about that podcast interview is Sophie did mention, she talked about Caitlin Clark briefly and her recovery, and she basically just said, like, it is a day-to-day thing. Caitlin doesn't even know when she will be back. So she didn't really give any more information than that, but I think a lot of fans are speculating, will Caitlin Clark be back? Because Sophie is now out for the season, will the Indiana Fever risk it by bringing Caitlin Clark back? If Sophie is out, do the Fever even have a chance in the playoffs? Why would you bring Caitlin Clark back? Should you bring Caitlin Clark back? Will she be practicing this week? They have a tough stretch of games. Are they going to bring her back against a team like the Minnesota Lynx? We just don't know. And I, like I've said in the past few videos, I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back.
And the truth no one wants to face? This didn't have to happen. Every one of these injuries could have been prevented if the league had done its job, if referees had enforced rules, if leadership had prioritized safety over spectacle. Instead, they let resentment and reckless play take their toll. Now Clark isn't just battling injuries. She's battling a system that failed her.
Is that something you and the medical staff just kind of reiterate with her? Just, hey, it's okay, take your time, there's a big picture we got to think about here?
Yeah, and I think just the experience throughout the year, trying to come back and come back quickly, has also taught her, that she needs to make sure that she's 100%. And yes, every competitor wants to play. But at the same time, doing it the right way and making sure after we've had a couple of setbacks that we're we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness is the most important thing.
Fans who once filled arenas just to see her warm up now hang on every injury report with dread. Media that once built highlight reels now publish medical chart. The league she dragged into the spotlight is scrambling to stay relevant without her. Caitlin Clark isn't just sidelined, she's become the symbol of a league-wide failure to protect its biggest asset. And as the 2025 season ticks toward the playoffs, the WNBA's Golden Goose remains grounded. Not just a setback, a catastrophe, and the cruelest part? Entirely preventable.